Alright, another thing that we covered in our lesson, because one thing I remember you told me on our last lesson in person was that you wanted to learn how to play some classical music style stuff. So I'd like to get you really comfortable with scales, if that's the case. So we looked at just the scale patterns for each hand. So for the right hand, most of the time, this is what you're going to do. Just a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the same way back down. That's typically what it is, unless you're starting with a black key or it's a, more complicated key. And for the left hand, you're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way back down. So getting really comfortable with those is important. And then eventually we'll start practicing double octaves. So double octaves being 1, 2. When you cross over the second octave, you have to cross over by the fourth finger to get into the next octave range. So notice how I went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I could leap up into the next octave range. But for now we're just going to do one octave and back down, okay? So the scales that we looked at, go ahead and pause if you need to review this. The scales that we looked at were the natural minor. So in the key of C, right, all the keys are white keys. And the relative minor for every major key, and I sort of mentioned this, but this is probably something you'll have to kind of remind yourself of or think about every time you come back into music. But once you get it down, it kind of helps to remember that the natural minor is always on the 6th step of the scale. So this is the first step, right? We're in C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is A. So the relative minor is A. And that was the first scale I showed you. Now in classical music, you're often going to do the harmonic minor, which is a sharp 7. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. G is the 7th step in the natural minor, so we're going to make that sharp. So G is going to be G sharp. Notice that the difference of the sound, it has a sort of like snake charmer kind of sound to it, I guess. Alright, so harmonic minor, sharp 7th. Next, I showed you the melodic minor, which is a sharp 7, G sharp, and a sharp 6th as well. In this case, F is the 6th. So F sharp and G sharp. I kept making mistakes, sorry. So yeah, the F sharp is there, the G sharp before the A. In this one, I like to think of it in terms of this chord progression from A minor to D major, and also E major become possibilities. I think, yeah. So go ahead and try to review that stuff if you can. I hope that helps.